Hi, I'm Conrad from Conrad P Woodturning. So in my previous video, I turned a hollow form out of a piece of iron bark. Today I'm going to turn a different kind of hollow form using this piece of Spalted Silky Oak. Just got a little bit of spalting there, so I'm going to do my best to try and keep that in. I'm not going to use all of this. I'm probably going to use only about that much there, and I'll save the rest for another project. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so I've mounted the piece of silky oak on the lathe. First what I'm going to do is just rough it out because it's a little bit out of round. It's warped a little bit since I've roughed it out a couple of months ago. Just a word about spalted timber before I get started. Spalting is a kind of fungal mould, so it's a good idea to wear a dust mask when you're doing this and to have a dust extractor on. So yeah, I'm just going to get a go ahead with that now. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn a tenon on the end here, just so I can mount this in the chuck. I'll just check with my outside calipers to make sure that it's the right size. Alright, now just so it's a little bit safer, I'm not going to part this off on the lathe, I'm just going to cut it with a saw. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this with a saw. Alright, there we go, and now it's ready to be mounted in the chuck. Alright, now I'm ready to start doing the shaping and marking out where I'm going to hollow. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up this front face here using the bowl gouge, and then after that I'm going to use the skew chisel to come in at an angle just like that to make sort of like a whole cone shape, so I can then use a drill bit to drill my depth hole and then start hollowing out. So now I'm just going to drill my depth hole in the hollow form. So unfortunately I don't have a Jacob's chuck for my tailstock, so I can't use that to drill a hole in, so instead I'm using this electric drill. So I'll just lock the spindle, and then I'll drill my depth hole to this piece of tape. Alright, looking good. Now I'm ready to start hollowing out. Alright, so now I've got my hollow tool and I'll start hollowing out. Alright, so I'm happy with the overall shape of this hollow form, and I'm happy with how I've hollowed it out, so I'm going to leave it there. Now I'm just going to clean out the outer surface. This face here a little bit is a little bit rough. I'll just part off a little bit here so I can curve over the bottom, and then I'll do some sanding, and then I'll apply finish. Alright, so now I'm just going to move on to sanding. I'm going to be starting at 80 grit sandpaper, then I'll go up through the grits all the way to 800 grit. Alright, so now I'm just going to apply a finish. The finish I'm going to be using is DANISH oil. So I've got my paper towel. I'm just going to put on a very little bit, and then just apply it with the lathe running. Well, let's take a look. Yeah, that's really nice. DANISH oil really brings out the grain, and even there where the spalting is, it really brings out the black in the spalting and the that sort of greenish reddish section of the silky oak. So now that that's done, I'm ready to part off. Now I'm just going to part off. For parting off, I'm just going to give it a slight undercut so it sits stable on the table that it's going to be staying on. And there we go. I'll just give the bottom there a bit of a sanding and use a skew chisel to remove that little piece of timber there sticking up. Alright, so here's the end product. I'm really happy with how the hollow form turned out. I really like the spalting feature here and the greenish reddish part of the grain in the silky oak. I'm quite happy with how it turned out and how it hollowed. I feel the wall thickness is pretty consistent all around, and I quite like that little lip I put in there. And overall I'm very happy with it. If you did enjoy this video, please consider liking and sharing it, and if you want to keep up with my future videos, please subscribe. And until then, I'll see you next time.